So today we will discuss from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 11. Chapter is entitled The Universal Form. Text number 10 and 11. So we'll have the verse up, the verses, and we can... So everyone is aware, right, that I will take one line and I will recite it and then you have to repeat after me. All right? Is that okay? Okay. Aneka Bhaktanayanam Anekadbhuta Darshanam Aneka Divyabharanam Divyaneko Dyatayudham Divyamalyam Baradharam Divyagandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishwato Mukham. You want to recite? Somebody would like to lead? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think yeah, they would like to repeat. Yeah.
Aneka Vaktanayanam Anekadbhuta Darshanam Aneka Divyabharanam Divyaneko Dyatayudham
Divyaneko Dyatayudham
Divyamalyam Baradharam
Divyamalyam Baradharam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Anantam Vishwato Mukham. Anyone else?
Anekavatra Nayanam
Anekavatra Nayanam
Anekadbhuta Darshanam
Anekadbhuta Darshanam
Aneka Divyabharanam
Aneka Divyabharanam
Divyaneko Dyatayudham
Divyaneko Dyatayudham
Divyamalyam Varadharam
Divyamalyam Baradharam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Anekavakranayanam
Anekavakranayanam
Anekadbhutadarshanam
Anekadbhutadarshanam
Anekadivyabharanam
Anekadivyabharanam
Divya aneko yatayudham
Divyaneko Dyatayudham
Divyamalyam varadharam
Divyamalyam Baradharam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Divyagandhanulepanam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Sarvascharyamayam Devam
Anantam Vishwato Mukham.
Anantam Vishwato Mukham. All right. We'll go to the translation. Arjuna saw that in that universal form, unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In these verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Did you like the verse? What did you like about it?
Yeah, the thing that I really liked about the words, it shows, how powerful Krishna is. Everything was unlimited in his, when he opened his mouth, like, the universes, all the things that Arjuna saw, right? He was kind of shocked to see that in Krishna. So, yeah, it's like God is all powerful and like is everywhere.
You like to see God being powerful?
No. Sometimes we should, because I don't think we are at that level where we understand that. We try to take a lot of things for granted, and just coming here, taking darshan, we kind of think, okay, God is our friend. But I think we should see him in that perspective as well. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. What else? Did anyone else find something good about this, or let us say, did you like this verse, and in what way did you like this verse? Anybody else? No? All right, so I'll accept that you all like this verse. So this verse is the beginning of Lord Krishna showing his universal form to Arjuna. From verse number 10 onwards, these descriptions will be given. But typically most of us have some idea of the universal form. Maybe we think of the universal form having many faces, various expressions, arms, legs, so on and so forth. Many of us would also like to think of the universal form as expanding throughout the universe. Is that correct? So the universal form should kind of, the head of the universal form, or the hairs or the helmet on the head of the universal form should be up there in the sky. And the feet should be like wherever the bottommost point is. Is that how we understand it? Yes or no? No? You don't understand it like that? You don't know? Okay, all right. So most of you feel that that is how the universal form is, isn't it? All right. Would you like me to show you something interesting in the previous verses? Yeah, you'd like to have some fun? Yes? Okay. So we'll go back to a previous verse. All right. This is text number 5. Text number 5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashotha Sahasrashah Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini cha Sri Bhagavan says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied divine and multicolored forms. So something big is going to happen, correct? All right, next verse, text number 6. O best of the Bharata, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. So first, he said, what should Arjuna be expecting to see? Various forms. Isn't it? Then he is saying that you can see the controllers of the various departments of the universes, of this universe. Yeah? Next verse. Text number 8. Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogameshwaram. He says, but you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. All right? So, we read text number 5, 6, and this is 7. Sorry. Did we read 6, 7, and 8? 5, 6, and 8? This is 7. Okay, this is 7. We read 8. Yes, let us read 7 translation. I think we missed out on that. Can we just go to the translation 7? O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. Is that interesting or what? Why is it interesting? What do you understand from that?
Whatever there exists in this world can be seen in the body of the Lord. That he was going to show. Whatever one can imagine.
Whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. Does he say in what he's going to show? Or he wants him to see everything that is there in what he's already seeing?
Whatever he has seen already and maybe more, which he has not seen.
And where does he have to see that?
So whatever he has seen and whatever he has not seen, he's going to see in future, is all going to see in.
Correct. Okay, let us go to Sanskrit, please. Sanskrit verse. Ithekastham jagat krishnam pashyadasa characharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanya drashtam ichhasi. He says, Iha, in this, ekastham, in one place, jagat, the universe, krishnam, completely, pashyase, adde, immediately, sa, with chara, achara. All right? Mama dehe, my, in this body, O Arjuna, yat, that which. Krishna is saying that you can see all of this in my body. So what do you think? Is he saying you would be able to see this in my body when I show you that form, or you can see it in this body that you are actually seeing in front of you? Krishna is in front of Arjuna. Krishna is talking to Arjuna. They are having a one-on-one conversation. Krishna says, see all that you want to see in this body of mine. So where does he want Arjuna to see everything? Which body? The body that he's going to reveal, or the body with which he is standing in front of Arjuna?
The body that he is going to reveal.
And why would we want to say that?
Because in the later verses we read that he's going to give him divine eyes to see that body. Currently Arjuna cannot see that body. And he's going to give him some divine eyes, and then he's going to see that.
Okay, so let me give an example from our experience. I want you to see the contents of this water, the molecular content. What do I have to give you? Microscope. So are you going to see that content within the microscope, or would it still be inside this body of water?
It will be in the body of water.
Am I going to reveal some other body of water?
No.
This body of water, right? All I'm giving you is special eyes to see that which you cannot see right now in this body of water. Now, can we relate that to this verse?
Yes.
How do we understand this verse? Krishna wants Arjuna to see all of what he told him in the previous verses, verse 5 and verse 6, in this body of mine. Mama dehe. Right? So right within that body he will see. It is not necessary that Krishna has to start growing. Is that all right? It is not necessary. Krishna is here saying that you can see that within my form right here. So Arjuna tells him that I cannot. I'm not able to see. All I'm able to see is you, your dress, your eyes, your fingers. So what does Krishna tell him? Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. I will give you divine eyes. So he gives him a scope. What is that scope called as? Yes, divinoscope. We came up with this terminology right now to make it more relatable. Just as to see the microform, we need a scope which is called as a microscope. We don't call it a micro eye scope. No. We don't call it a microform scope. We call it a microscope. So we can see at the micro level. Similarly, if we have to see at the divine level, what is Krishna going to give Arjuna? A divinoscope. So the next time we meet Krishna and we want to see the universal form, we can always ask for a divinoscope, and you need not be worried that your roof will be blown away. Krishna can manifest himself right there on the altar, on the tiny little altar that you have at home. All you need is a divinoscope. He doesn't have to work hard to begin expanding himself to show his universal form. Is that nice or what? Is it great? It's great, isn't it? It's like we are like children and Krishna is like an adult, and Krishna is saying, there, put your finger there. You tell the child, and the child puts the finger there, and that's nice. So similarly, Krishna is going to give Arjuna a very wonderful experience by giving him divine eyes. All right? So within that very form of Krishna, in fact, the idea is, if I ask you to look at my form, what do you see? At a glance, single glance. What all would you see? Saffron robes. Okay, let me make it a little more relevant. In today's world, a young man has fixed up a meeting on a dating app with a young woman. We can relate to that. They meet at a place on a table. Somebody is already there and the other person comes and sits at the table. What is it that they notice? The first glance. What is it that they would be noticing? Physical beauty, physical form. Okay, let me help you more. I said in the first glance. After that, there can be a second glance, third glance, fourth glance, fifth glance. The first second of their meeting, what do they see? What does one person see in another person? The next second, what do they see? When you look at me, the first second you'll observe a certain aspect of me, either my eyes, my hair, my shikha, my ears, some part, right? Then you'll see your eyes will travel up or down. You notice something particularly about the form. Is it possible to take in the entire form in one glance? Is it possible? Sorry? How's that?
Because your brain has like a process where it automatically takes everything in. I'm not saying you actually understand it. What I'm saying is your brain absorbs it all at once, but then it picks certain pieces that it sees and attracted to, and then it starts processing it. But what you're saying is true. I'm sure you're saying that you can't know everything at once, but it all comes in at once. And then you
very
pick it
true.
apart.
So what you're saying is that the reflection that comes through in the form of an image is all that is within the field of vision. So it's not just a form. All of this also comes in. Correct? Because all of this is in the field of vision.
Exactly.
But even then the brain only processes this.
Yes.
How is that? Because consciousness is how we want, is within our control to a certain extent. It is expressed through desire. Subconsciously, these are masked out. Similarly, at a glance, if I look at you, consciously, I'll see the most prominent part which the eyes are focused on, although the entire image is taken in. Is that true? I mean, what can I do with my subconscious? I can't. Can I do anything with my subconscious? I can only do with the conscious level of my brain, the conscious aspect of my brain. The subconscious is constantly receiving data. Is that true? Since we're discussing on a physical level, physical science, yes? So consciously, that which I identify with, or that which I express my desire to, or what I express in the form of a desire to notice.
But I have a point here.
Yes.
So your brain sometimes, like, I'll just give an example, right? So let's say I had a big falling with flowers once, right? So I fell on a bud of flowers and it hurt me, and now I come into the room and I look at you, and I'll look at your face and I'll like it because I know other people who look like you. But I'll block out the flowers because I had a bad experience with the flowers.
True.
And it doesn't matter how smart you are.
Yes.
Your subconscious will automatically register what was the past.
Correct.
And then maybe I can look closer, and with a little time, I can say, okay, no. He's a good person. He's wearing the flowers. They must be nice flowers. But my first initial reaction is, oh God, I don't want to see flowers.
Yeah.
So how does that all happen?
Oh, okay.
I have another question, sorry. I kind of explained how it happened, but I want to know, we all have these biases in us, right? Like, oh, you're a bad person because maybe you're wearing a turban or you're wearing a hat or you're not dressed. You know, I'm not dressed up today, so maybe I'm a bum. But we all have these like biases in our conscious, subconscious.
Okay.
I'd love for you to help with that.
So the point that you raise right now is a little different from, it's another point, another subject matter related to physical science itself, vision and memory. Very briefly, biases are there because of our experiences in life. And we tend to retain certain experiences, we tend to forget certain experiences. There's a filter in, filter out mechanism that each one of us has. Maybe it is that process of evolution that helps us survive. It's because of the survival instinct. And according to the Bhagavad-Gita, the Paramatma is the person who gives us remembrance and forgetfulness. So that, all right? Now coming back to the first subject matter that we were discussing, the first point. The flower is what we see first. So that is the point I was trying to put forth. The first thing that you see, which you register, and I'm not asking the emotion that would come with it. What do you see first? You could see the flower, although the whole form is there. The rest of it would be a little hazy. Why is that? Because we are conscious beings. We have the freedom to choose, consciously, voluntarily, or involuntarily. There's free will. So either we do it according to the a certain the nervous system that exerts how do I say, explicitly exerts its decision, or the nervous system that involuntarily exerts its influence. It happens. To be able to see everything, we need to have a little more time. Yes? So when Krishna is telling Arjuna, look at me, Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram, in the previous verse, the next verse, he says, or right here, Mama Dehe Gudakesha. He's saying that Arjuna, if you look at me, you'll see the universal form. Basically, if all that Arjuna can register this second is his eyes, he would see the entire universal form in his eyes. If all that Arjuna can register at that second, in that split of a second, the first thing that he notices is Krishna's feet, then he would see the universal form in the feet right there. Do we like that? Do we understand what it means? It means his entire form is actually full of so much opulence. To be able to see the mountains, we necessarily do not have to look at a particular limb of Krishna. To be able to see the sky, we don't have to look at another limb of Krishna. A small fraction of his form that we see, that Arjuna is seeing in front of him, one of his limbs, or the tip of his toes, his hair, Krishna is saying, just look there. Mama dehe gudakesha. See that within my form. So his Aishwarya Yoga, or his potency, is immense. And that is why the universal form fills the observer with great reverence and awe. It's beyond our imagination. Yes? Yesterday, did some of us have a few desires, that was kind of there predominantly in our head? Did we have some desires? Something that we wanted to be done, or that we wanted to have received? Anything, any desire. It could be like, I wish this pencil was not here, there. Small desire like that. Did we have the kitchen table? or your child's room, garage. And do we have some plans where we need to fulfill a few tasks tomorrow? Do we have some tasks like that? Things to do today that we need to get done tomorrow, the day after? What if you were able to see all of those possibilities here right now in one place? How would you feel about it? Whatever we had in the past, whatever is possible in our future, within our field of activity, if all of those possibilities are available to be seen in one place at one time right now, would that be interesting? The universal form. Now can we relate with the universal form? All the desires of the past, of the present, and of the future, and their fulfillment, or whatever is their consequences, if we can observe in one place, would that be helpful? I'm not saying destiny is there. What I'm saying is, whatever would be the outcomes of those desires, if all of those possibilities are there in front of us, would that be helpful? No wonder Krishna had to give Arjuna special eyes, divinoscope. Because he's practically opening up a realm of possibilities for Arjuna right there to whatever extent of time he can imagine and beyond. The universal form gives a lot of hope. It is not about seeing just how we are going to suffer and be destroyed. It's also about all that we can receive and the possibilities of all that is very, very enjoyable or very, very favorable for us. We see all of those possibilities. How to achieve them, whether we'll be able to achieve them, would need us to perform our actions accordingly. That is in the future. But the possibilities are right there. That which we can imagine and beyond. Therefore, Krishna is saying, whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future, everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. So is that helpful? Did I stand true to my statement that we can have fun? We will be having some fun. Yeah? Okay. Now let us go to today's verse, 10 and 11. So there are two verses together. If you look at the first verse, the word aneka has been repeated 4 times. Is it true? The first verse, verse number 10, aneka, A-N-E-K-A. 4 times. And in the next verse, we see the word divya repeated twice, and we also see it coming twice in the 10th verse. In the 10th verse, the word divya has come 2 times, and in the 11th verse, the verse divya has come 2 times. So there are 2 words which have been repeatedly used by Krishna. Krishna is really short of vocabulary here. Isn't it? Or maybe whatever he's trying to express is exponentially important. Isn't it? So, aneka vaktra nayanam, lots of faces. Vaktra is this part of your face. Nayanam is the eyes, but you could take it to be the total areas of the face, the neck and the face. So aneka vaktra nayanam, various mouths, eyes. What does it signify? When we hear that Krishna has so many faces, so many eyes, unlimited mouths, unlimited faces, what does it signify? Okay, see if you like this idea that I'm going to present now. We have Madan Mohan here. Can you see the beautiful gopi dots above the eyebrows? Can you see the decoration there? What if you as a pujari had a few more faces to decorate? How would that be? Nice? So as a pujari, what are the possibilities with the universal form? You can really show your artistry. There's so much facility for seva. Unlimited eyes or numerous legs, numerous hands. Let's suppose I have 5 siblings. I just have 2 hands. They have to take turns if I have to give them an embrace. If I had an extra pair of hands, if I want to embrace them, 2 hands I embrace one, the other extra pair I embrace another one. There's so many devotees in a devotee community. Sometimes we feel that, oh, wish I had a little closer relationship with such and such person. The universal form reveals the possibility of unlimited living entities at that simultaneously receiving the embrace of Krishna. So, when Arjuna is seeing the universal form, although we kind of feel that the universal form is simply a multiplication of a single form, we have to try and see in what context the universal form is being revealed. It is being revealed within Krishna's transcendental body. So Arjuna is going through an emotional experience. He's having a visual experience that is giving him very, very powerful emotional experience. Not only that, the verse also says, can we go to the translation, please? The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. So herein, because sometimes, I've seen people, I'll again take the example of trying to decorate the deities. Sometimes we want the Lord to hold a lot of things. Let's say in Radharani's hand on a particular day, let's say the day of her appearance, we want her to be holding on to a basket which has all our letters filled with prayers. But somehow our conception of life is such that we have the desire that on that pile of letters, the topmost should be ours. It should not be lost within the pile. So here is Krishna. He has so many forms, unlimited forms. Each of those forms can hold one of our letters of request, of prayer that we have. Very personal. Very personal. You know, when you offer flowers to the deity and then the flowers are collected on a plate, if you happen to notice the flower that you have offered, you definitely ask the pujari, can you put that on the top, please, on the top of the pile? We have those kind of desires because we want that personal connection. We don't want to be just lost in the crowd. Isn't it? Because each one of us has a very individual personality. So with the universal form, Krishna is revealing that. He's giving, so many times we are convinced through sensual perception. When the senses can observe and absorb situations, then we are convinced. So if we want a particular devotee in the temple to forward our request to the committee, we'll ask that devotee, Sir, Madam, Prabhu, Mataji, have you forwarded my request? No, have you really forwarded my request? Are you sure you forwarded my request? So finally that person takes out his phone and says, here, see. Are you convinced now? Then we are convinced. Yes? Somehow that seems to be satisfying to us. It gives us a sense of accomplishment. So when Arjuna is seeing the universal form, and since Arjuna is supposed to be representing all of us and our emotions, this gives us such hope. Because Krishna in his multifarious forms can reciprocate with each one of us simultaneously, and we are convinced of it through sensual perception. Therefore, the universal form sometimes is called as that which is consisting of material elements. Basically, what it means is the universal form is that which we can relate to with our material senses. Just as when the Supreme Lord appears in marble or stone as a deity form, we are able to conceive of the form through our senses. Otherwise, if a particular form has not been consecrated, there's been no pratishtha done, then it's simply a form of wood or stone. Krishna agrees to appear in that form. The Supreme Lord descends, Archa avatar. Avatar means descends, Archa is the deity. So Archa avatar. A child looks at this form and says, Mommy or Daddy, Krishna looks small. Do you really think he can protect me? And then Krishna says, little child, here is my divinoscope. And the children are very excited to have scopes. So the little child, which basically this is each one of us, that is how we kind of are convinced of certain subject matters. So we take the divinoscope as a little child and we look. And we see the same form. With the scope, we are looking at the toes. And what do we see? Multifarious forms. And within one of those forms, we see, Mommy, my letter is there. I can see my letter. It's not in the pile. I can see it very clearly. So we are convinced. So this is Krishna's compassion. When he shows the universal form to Arjuna. Later on, since the universal form is going to reveal all that can happen in this material universe, so one will see the sun rising and the sunset at the same time. Basically, one is going to see all the illumination and all the darkness. So there is some fear. At one point of time, Arjuna is going to manifest some fear. Does that affect the possibilities? Could it affect the various possibilities that are available to us just because we are fearful? The existence of the possibilities will not be affected by the emotions, by our fear. Those possibilities will always exist. However, our fear will prevent us from seeing those possibilities. Does it make sense? Let's say I have an allergy that makes me have pain in my eyes when I look at sunlight. Generally, when the sun rises up, we are excited because a new day has arisen. But if I have pain in my eyes have somehow or the other developed some allergy towards sunlight, that which can give rise to so many possibilities is now a little distant from me because of the fear of pain that my eyes will have when they are in the presence of sunlight. So, does the possibilities go away? Do the possibilities go away? No. I have somehow taken a step back. So that is what fear does. In Arjuna's case, we see that Arjuna is requesting Krishna, my dear Krishna, I'm not able to see all of this darkness here. My heart is throbbing. I am feeling anxious. Sometimes it's not easy to face the truth. Therefore, somebody came up with this illuminating statement. The truth can be painful. I mean, the truth can be painful. Falsity is always miserable. So which is better? The truth. So if we develop inner strength to face the truth, it would never be painful. But that which is false is always going to be misleading. There's no other possibility therein. All right? So Arjuna says that. Hence, is it possible that we can have a few other examples where Krishna reveals a form that creates fear? However, the response of a devotee is not of fear. Yes? Lord Nrsimhadev. So now we are going to read from the Srimad Bhagavatam those verses which are spoken by Prahlad for Lord Nrsimhadev. Okay? So let us go to the Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll pull it up here. Canto 10, chapter 13, text number 19. Sorry, this is, Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 15. Yes, can we read the translation? Somebody would like to read or? Yeah.
Just the translation. Right?
There's a translation.
My Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp, pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, your mane soaked with blood, or your high, wedge-like ears. Nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies.
Can you go to the next verse? Verse number 16. Yes.
O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditional life?
All right. So in this chapter, the first few verses, verse number 2, 1 and 2, explains that the demigods led by Lord Brahma are requesting Lakshmi Devi that please pacify your husband. Would you want to see how it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Should I pull up that verse? Okay, I think it's verse number 2. Yes. Okay, let me read the translation. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ji, was requested to go before the Lord by all the demigods present, who because of fear could not do so. But even she had never seen such a wonderful and extraordinary form of the Lord, and thus she could not approach him. So, what is it that these devotees, Lakshmi Ji and the other devatas, how is it that they are afraid to approach the Lord? And how is Prahlad a little different? What makes him not so fearful? Anyone? The reason the devatas, and including Lakshmi Ji, are staying back is that the Lord has seen that Prahlad's very father has tried to kill him. In fact, when the Lord was in the pillar, Hiranyakashipu declared that first I will kill this Lord of yours and that I will chop off your head. So Lord Nrsimhadev wanted to make a point that if anyone, and since Prahlad's own father, who's supposed to be very, very loving towards him, is expressing this desire, if anyone would want to hurt my devotee, then first of all, they have to deal with me. And who can be more loving than one's own biological father? And if one's biological father is inimical, then no one else can be trusted. Prahlad is standing all alone. Nrsimhadev is engaged in trying to stop the people who are inimical towards him or who are faithful to Hiranyakashipu, Nrsimhadev wanted to make a point that he is not going to stop and consider whether someone is favorable to Prahlad or not. So if anyone is favorable to Prahlad, better stay back. Stay out of this arena. Otherwise, you could be caught up in friendly fire, collateral damage. So you stay away. So they were all staying away. However, Nrsimhadev is not blinded with anger. He is expressing the perfect form of anger, or let us say unalloyed anger. But he is not blinded with fury or anger. However, he wants to make it a point that if you had been favorable towards Prahlad, then why did not you intervene up till now? So you stay back. If you're not involved with the party that is against Prahlad, you better stay back, stay away from me. So when Lakshmi Devi saw that form, she stayed back, she stayed away. She was not approaching Nrsimhadev. And since Lord Nrsimhadev is not blinded due to his anger or fury, when Prahlad approaches him, he immediately holds back his actions. He stops. And he becomes a little peaceful. How is it that Prahlad is not fearful? Why is it that Prahlad was convinced that he would not be collateral damage? Prahlad was convinced that his father is already liberated. However, because of his animosity towards the Supreme Lord, he himself may not accept liberation. You understand the difference between the two? Prahlad is convinced that his father is liberated because he had so much faith in Lord Vishnu. He immediately told his father, my dear father, people who think that this is my friend, this is my enemy, they have been influenced by Maya or illusion. And Lord Vishnu is friend to all. He is even your friend. He is the very source of your strength. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, where do you get all of your power to, defy me? Where do you get the strength? Prahlad said, all of your prowess and all of my power. In fact, the prowess of every living entity in this material world comes from the same source, Lord Vishnu. So Prahlad is already convinced that his father is liberated. However, he is also aware that his father has this animosity towards Lord Nrsimhadev. Hence, when Lord Nrsimhadev asks Prahlad that please ask for a boon, Prahlad says, kindly liberate my father. That even what he said is that even if my father rejects liberation, my dear Lord, still can you please give him liberation? So Prahlad is not afraid to approach the Lord because he was sure that even if he became collateral damage, he would still be liberated. So, right now, he's constantly wanting to serve the Lord, and even if he was caught in friendly fire, still be liberated, and he could serve the Lord. So he wasn't fearful. And at the same time, his actual fear was that he would be influenced by the association, the company that he was in. The company that he was in was completely immersed in materialism and sense gratification. And his fear was that when he's conscious, he tries to stay away from them. But what would happen in his sleep? You know, when we are asleep and we let those relaxation sounds go on, it affects us. It affects our consciousness. So he's afraid that just being in that association when his guards are a little down, he may become a little bit antagonistic towards the Lord, because that was the very society he was staying in. And therefore, we see that in verse 16, he prays unto the Lord that my real fear is that I may become influenced by material desires. So, my dear Lord, please bless me. He is not afraid of the Lord's ferocious form. Is Arjuna, as a devotee, justified when he expresses fear on seeing certain aspects that are revealed within the universal form? Right now, he is not fearful. Right now, he sees those wonderful, aneka forms, aneka vaktram, aneka rupam. He sees all of that. Later on, when he sees the universal form manifesting time and devouring all existence, bringing about annihilation, pralaya, that time he would express fear. So is Arjuna justified in expressing fear? What do you think? Okay. So then how do we explain his fear? Okay, very quickly I'll try to put forth a perspective. See, I would want you to hear it out and let me know if you agree with it. Arjuna expresses fear when he sees the annihilation aspect of the universal form. When there's annihilation, it means all the possibilities have now gone away. Like when this body is annihilated, then all the possibilities that we had when we had this body is now lost. So when Arjuna saw the annihilation, he saw it as an end to all of his possibilities, all the various options that were available for him to serve Krishna. And the greatest fear that a devotee has is loss of the opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. Hence, he wants to see the beautiful Saumya Rupa of Krishna, the four-handed form and then the two-handed form of Krishna playing the flute. Because when we have that form, we never see the face of death. So the possibilities of service eternally exist. Nonetheless, here in this verse, we see that Krishna is beautifully manifesting these various forms right within his divine body, which gives us so much of hope that each one of us can have a personal connection with Krishna directly, and there is unlimited scope to serve Krishna. We'll stop here. Did you feel that the explanation that I gave about Arjuna's fear is acceptable? Is it? Okay. So any questions, any comments? We have, okay. You have a question? Yes.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I just ask, did the gopis know Nrsingadev? Was that part of their deities? And was Prahlad, was his deity Nrsingadev? Thank you.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, I have either overlooked or not found a reference to that in the 10th canto, where there is some explanation of Krishna's pastimes. However, if we go to Sri Vrindavan Dham, if we go to the palace of Nanda Maharaj, then the locals there, they explain that in their village in Nandagaon, there is a very old Nrsingadev temple, and Mother Yashoda would worship Nrsingadev. So that deity is still there. So if we accept their version, then yes, the gopis did have the worship of Nrsingadev. Is that all right? Okay, you go first, and then he can ask.
Hello. So I have one question here. So when Arjuna sees so many hands, so many eyes, is the universal form the complete form of the Lord? Or is it still limited by what Arjuna can perceive potentially?
So when we say a complete form, are we saying that there could be an incomplete form too?
Yeah, I mean, Lord can be more than just eyes and hands, for example. I mean, like it can be something abstract. But Arjun could see hands because Arjun could make sense out of hands.
Okay.
So was this form limited by what Arjun could see? And was it intentional? Or did Arjun see even more that perhaps I can't understand,
There are both possibilities. Because the verse says that everything that, let me read the translation again. Oh Arjuna, this is text 7. All right, I think we can pull it up. Text number 7, chapter 11, text 7, Bhagavad-Gita. Yes, perfect. Oh Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. So whatever Arjuna could comprehend. All right? This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see, whatever you can comprehend, and whatever you may want to see in the future. Whatever comprehensions you may want to have in the future. Is that okay? Does it answer your question? Both possibilities are there. If Arjuna wants to see just what he can comprehend right now, that is what he'll see. If he wants to see that which he may comprehend in the future, he'll get to see that. Which he doesn't comprehend of now. But he may. There's a possibility that he may comprehend in the future. If he wants to see that, then he would be able to see that. The point here is, Arjuna has to make the choice. Krishna is not going to force onto Arjuna, see, all that I want to show you. There is never any pressure or superimposition on our free will. Does that help? Okay. And consider this point now. If all that matters to me right now is available, would that be satisfying or not? What do you think? You may think that I may need more. However, I think that whatever I need, that is what I should get. Would I be satisfied?
Yeah, you will be satisfied if I give you what you need.
What I need,
Yeah, how much is your thirst?
my thirst.
Yeah, yeah.
So would that mean that I have whatever I need in completeness? Whatever I need, would I be satisfied that I have it at completeness, 100%?
Yeah,
So you see free will?
yeah, yeah.
You may show me something more than that, and I'm like, delete it. Yeah. I'm in the mall, they have so much, universal form. But what I need is a universal form for me. I just pick that.
Makes sense. Thank you.
So whenever we, if we are thinking about how Krishna can reveal that even beyond what we can imagine, we are kind of undermining our own free will. Hence, most probably, that experience could be dissatisfying. Yeah? So here we can see that Krishna is letting Arjun have his free will, express his free will. Okay? All right. One more question? Last question?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for because chapter 11 is very hard to understand, so you kindly explained it very well for us. Just one last aspect on this. Some places where Srila Prabhupada mentions, or maybe I might have read in some place, where that this universal form is temporary. Could you touch upon that aspect? Why is this universal form considered temporary when the Archa Vigraha form can be, it's real and it's not?
So are we suggesting the Archa Vigraha form as we see it is not temporary?
Yeah, that's the understand. I mean, I'm trying to understand that. Is it not eternal? Like, or cannot it be eternal because this is Krishna himself?
When we say the Archa Vigraha form is temporary, are we referring to Krishna's eternal form, or are we referring to Krishna manifesting through matter?
Possibly. I mean, that's tough.
Okay, let me put it this way. The holy names are eternal. So when we chant the holy names on the beads, is that eternal? If our beads disintegrate, would the holy names disintegrate? Do the beads help us manifest the holy names? Is that helpful? Krishna is eternal. When he manifests the universal form, he is manifesting the form according to the elements of the universe. Is the universe eternal? Sorry?
The material universe is not eternal.
It is temporary.
Okay.
Manifests and unmanifests.
Right. Oh, that's the reason why we call the universal form as temporary.
Temporary.
Okay. Yes, makes sense.
All right?
Yes, thank you.
So whenever the universe manifests, the universal form manifests. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. It's an honor and privilege to have Rohini Priya Prabhu at ISV. And we will be having, after the wonderful class, after he shared the divine scope, and as you know, we have unlimited privilege to have also more devotional service, like he said. So we'll go into the next phase of the Sandhya Arti. We request all the devotees to put away the cushions on the back, on the left corner. And Rohini Priya Prabhu, would you like to lead us into Sandhya Arti? You sure? Okay.
if you go to Vrindavan, the locals there, they take you to a temple of Krishna and they say that this was the
Gaura Chandar Harati Kashobha Ki Bajaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Kashobha Janabe Tata Bane Jagamana Labha Kibadakhe Nanitai Chan Bhame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Shini Basa Chatradhara Shiva Bashe Achan Gaurachan Ratna Singhashane Arati Karena Brahma Adi Devagane Shivanara Hari Adhikare Chamara Dhulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gashaya Digaya Shiva Shankha Baje Ghanta Baje आज करताला माधुरा मृदंगा बजे परामरशाला शंख बजे घंटा बजे मधुर 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 बजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बजे मधुर 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 बजे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल शिव बहो कटे चंद्र दिने बदना जला गाला देश बना माला करे झलमाला शिव शिवा शुक नारदा प्रेम गदा गदा कति विनोदा देखे गौरार संपदा शिव जय जय गौर चाँदे आरती कशोभा जाना बिकाटा बने जगमानलभा निताय गौर हरे बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृन्दा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गौर हरे everyone very loudly Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Golango Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन, जय श्री राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन, श्री राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन, श्री राधे। जय महाप्रभु, 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 जय महाप्रभु। जय पंचतत्व, 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 जय पंचतत्व। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय प्रभुपाद। प्रभुपाद। प्रभुपाद, 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जगत गुरु प्रभुपदा, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपदा। जय जय गुरुदेव, 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 जय गुरुदेव। जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्रीमन महाप्रभु श्री श्री लक्ष्मण नृसिंहदेव शुभ संध्या आरती की जय। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत्य श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस AC भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ISKCON डिविनिटी फाउंडर आचार्य जगत गुरु सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत्य श्रीमद His Divine Grace Shishya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि शिशि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र शिशु जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की श्री 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 राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की श्रीमन महाप्रभु की श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की गंगा जमुना माई की भक्ति प्रदायिनी देवी तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories Srila Prabhupada ki.
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. तू तनु भृंगा केशव गीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो नरसिंह देव जयो नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जयो नरसिंह देव जयो नरहरि जयो नरहरि नरहरि जयो नरहरि जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्तराज भक्त श्रवणी श्री श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Can I get a mic on here? Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. So nice to see you, and it's so nice to see that everyone's, sitting in this hot summer space. You have a space next to each other because we're missing our half of the family. I think majority of our family is at Sadhu Sangha. They're doing the retreat, Kirtan retreat, and they are just constantly engaged in holy name. But we didn't have any less, right? We got quite a space and enjoy the deities, and what a wonderful kirtan, right? Good. I can see the smile on your faces. So, all right. How is everyone doing? Is there anyone here for the first time? Wow, that's great. Welcome, welcome. So nice to have you here. I was actually sharing with my husband this morning that it's so nice that, it's nice to have this association. Doesn't matter how much stock we have, doesn't matter how many pieces of jewelry we own or, how many properties we have. But in the end of the day, we have underlying need of making a difference, to contribute something more than ourselves, right? To give something. And that is only possible that we can do something in the association of the devotees. So here at ISKCON Silicon Valley, ISV, we have this opportunity and a privilege to make a difference, to contribute, and we can't do this alone. And that's why this association is so powerful. So today we were blessed with Rohini Priya Prabhu, who gave a wonderful class. I don't know, many of you saw them. If you didn't see them, you will see him a little later this evening. And Rohini Priya Prabhu comes from ISKCON Chapati, And apparently, he is, by education, he is a doctor. And as much as I know him more from my husband, because I think they spent many decades together. And he was mentioning to me that Rohini Priya Prabhu had spent over a decade going and preaching in the different communities, and he has built the community in Aurangabad from the scratch. And he has cultivated and given a holy name and shared the Prabhupada's mercy to many, many. They have a similar center as ours. They have hundreds that comes on the, over probably, I don't know how many numbers, but I know on the festivals they have thousands of people joining. So he has been very, very main person to develop the community and has been doing this over the decade. So that requires a very much strong determination to serve. So we were very honored, and actually it was quite a privilege to have Rohini Priya Prabhu. And if you have missed his lecture, please do go to our website at ISKCON Silicon Valley, or our Facebook page, or our YouTube, and you can go and take advantage of this mercy that he has shared with us. So let's give a big round of Hari Bol and applause to Rohini Priya Prabhu. Also, we'd like to thank our evening Sandhya Arati Kirtanier, the Sham Bhakt Prabhu, Sham Rupa Prabhu and Ananya family. So they had the family evening at ISA. My mind is in Sham Bhakta because the kitchen needs a lot of service because we have majority of the crew is out. So thank you, Sham Rupa Prabhu. Also, we would like to thank our broadcast team, Ramananda Prabhu and Girdhari, our Pujari, Jai Kanaya Prabhu, and our tireless team in the kitchen, led by Sunita Mati, Sumadura Gopika Mataji and Krishangi Gopi, and they have a wonderful feast out there for you. Without delay, we'll go into the Prashadam Prayer. However, we do need some help in the kitchen and cleanup. So if you would take extra gulab jamun, but save that energy to help out with the cleanup. Is that fair? All right. Once again, I would like to welcome and thank all the newcomers. We are here. If anything we can assist you with, Sham Rupa Prabhu is right here. We have Sukhada Gauranga outside, and we have Vrindavan Priya Prabhu. So please make yourself comfortable. If anything we can do for you, do not hesitate. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hare Krishna.
कहे काल जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तार मध्य जिह्वाति लोभमय सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे Krishna bado dayamay koribare jivbhajay saprasadanna dilo bhai shey annamrita pao Radha Krishna guna gao प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य नीताय प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य नीताय महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्रह्मणि वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यवतं राजन् विश्वासनैव जायते प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां हानिरसोऽप्यजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्यसु बुद्धिर्पर्यवतिष्ठते तयोक्ता भुक्ता श्रगन्धा वसोऽलङ्कार चर्चिता उत्तिष्ठ भोजिनो दासास् तव मयां जयेमहि Bhagavad Mahaprasadam ki jai.
Yeah.
Please come and take prasadam.
And today's Sunday feast is brought to you by Venu Gopal Varanasi and Nirmala Varanasi. They are sponsoring today's Sunday feast. And I do not know the occasion, but if you are here and if you like to share, maybe know what's the occasion of sponsoring, just Hare Krishna. So they would just like to get the blessings of the Vaishnavas. So please, let's chant one round of Maha Mantra and let's share the mercy that we have with them as well. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Also, we have $100 contribution from a devotee, I believe Shivam, and he is sponsoring. He says, my father, Mr. Sanjay Srivastava, who has come here from Mumbai, is sponsoring in the memory of my mother, late Mrs. Vandana Srivastava, whose birthday was on May 23rd. And I believe you are at the temple. Are you at the temple? Would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna. It is just in the memory of my wife who left this for heavenly abode, listening to Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, this only. In the end, I was with her and my son, who has become devotee and he's working here. I visit Juhu, Chowpatty and those ISKCON temples, and very of the firm belief that my wife's soul is in the lotus feet of Prabhu Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. To the sponsors, we have a special Mangalarti Mahaprashadam sweets. Please collect from us. We will be having it outside. Hare Krishna. So Prashadam will be served outside in the parking lot. You can actually make yourself comfortable and there would be enough Prashadam. So even if its line seems big, just be patient. And those who would like to do the service, please, there is a plenty of the service opportunity in the kitchen as well as in the serving Prashadam. Hare Krishna.